Hey everyone, putting together a short video to go through the setup process for tomorrow so everyone's on the same page. We'll go through everything while we're on site as well, but want to make sure everyone knows what's up and has an idea of what's going on. So the plan is to have everyone arrive at noon. A couple of people might bring supplies early so that by the time noon comes around, we're ready to get started. There is a Bengals game, so if I text you after this and say, hey, we've moved the time, that's probably why. But I think it should be fine to get there and get set up. We'll aim to have all the supplies there earlier in the morning. So the first thing that we're doing is we're assembling the posts. The posts were delivered on Friday, thanks to John and Kathy for leading those and getting those all set up. The posts are in 20-foot long sections, and we're going to bolt them together to create an ultimately 40-foot long post. And once we have that, we're also going to be bolting on the hardware at the top and at the bottom of the post so that everything's done at ground level and we can get everything figured out there. Once we have that, we add the lifting mechanism. So it's going to be a little bit like what a flagpole has. So there's going to be a pulley at the top and a pulley at the bottom, and it's a loop that you can raise and lower. And then that loop is going to be lifted by a hand winch that has a mechanical advantage so that you can just crank, 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 and lift something up to the top. So we're going to get the steel cable out, tension and crimp those all at ground level. So now that we have the posts all together, it's time to lift them up to vertical. We have a scissor lift to help us with this. It goes to 26 feet. It's going to allow us to be nice and slow as we bring each of the posts to vertical one at a time. Everyone else is going to be holding on to the steel cables to stabilize the post and eventually doing the work of connecting those to the stakes. We have auger stakes that are basically like a screw that screw into the ground so that they're very secure and make sure that nothing's going to pull out. We also, at the base, are placing this inside of some cinder blocks that we're going to put some concrete into. This was a specific request based on the Park Service because they didn't want us to have the posts in the ground any amount. So as we're lifting that up, we're making sure that the post is inside of the cinder blocks. And then once everything has been stabilized, then we mix up the concrete and kind of set the base. So that's going to happen 3 times. The good thing is that each of these is independent, so you can get each one nice and stable before you move on to the next one. Okay, now we've got 3 vertical posts. It's time to string the wire in between to actually hang the birds. This can all be done at ground level because we have the pulley system that allows us to raise and lower the entire set of wires. So we're going to measure out the correct amount, get them tensioned and crimped, set up with quick links and everything, and then we can raise the entire structure and lower the entire structure if we want, the entire bits of wire. Now, there's one last thing that we need to do today. That's electrical routing. So we've got pre-made wires that are set to the various lengths that the birds are going to be out along the wires. Thanks to my dad for putting those together. We're going to be able to test those on the ground, get those all organized, and then we're going to stuff them inside of loom that we zip tie to the wires. What's loom? It's this stuff. Once that's complete, then we're set for the day. We're going to place the birds at a later point because I am still working on them. So finally, as a big thank you, we'll go over and get some pizza and beers on me. Again, everybody, thank you so much for helping with this and making this a rally. It absolutely could not happen without your help. So everyone has been kind of going above and beyond to make this happen. So thanks again for helping tomorrow, and hopefully it'll go pretty smoothly. So see everyone tomorrow.